Introducing the future of hassle-free and seamless financial transaction. The Una Wallet app, empowering you to effortlessly manage your money anytime, anywhere. With the Una Wallet app, you can now enjoy branchless banking, wallet-to-wallet transfer, wallet-to-cash, and bank cross-border payments, deposit at a bank, and withdraw from any Una branch. Get ready to experience the ultimate banking convenience with the Una Wallet app. With just few taps on your phone, you can effortlessly add funds, withdraw, and send money to your loved ones. The Una Wallet app also provides a detailed history of your transaction, making it easier to track your expenses. So, what are you waiting for? Download the Una Wallet app today on Play Store or App Store and say goodbye to hassle of traditional banking. Uno Forex Bureau Limited, delivering much more than money.
Welcome to this special show today on Kerr Fatou. We are back in the studio, and of course we'll be looking at current affairs, but also what is trending in the country. And today what we will be looking at is the forceful removal of the Auditor General Modou Ceesay. We'll also be looking at the bombshell Republic story on public institutions like the Mega Bank and also the Central Bank. Also, we'll be looking at the recent GALA arrest. And with me to discuss all of this, I have the former Auditor General Karamba Touray. Karamba, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Fat. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
And good evening to your viewers and listeners.
And of course, we have lawyer Lamin J, Darboe politician lawyer. Pamodu kunyo na candidate on, dollar candidate on. But you know, we'll bring you back so we can do politics. But today we are here on with Lamin. Lamin, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Fat.
And of course, Marr, the anti-corruption expert. Marr, welcome back to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here, Fatou, and getting to both Council Darboe and Touray.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First, we want to start with the Republic story. You know, Mustafa K. Darboe, whenever they announce that they have an investigative story coming, we all sit on the edges of our chairs. But this one, I know they have done so many bombshell stories. They have done so many great and crazy and mad stories. But for me, this one tops all of it because it is at the core of the State House, how nepotism, favorism, and corruption all jumble up. And it's no other person. It's implicating the president's own nephew, President Barrow's nephew, Amadou Sane, who's a shareholder in 3 of the companies, were awarded contracts to sell rice at the affordable price. And the Central Bank, Mega Bank, that was owned by a government, were all implicated in this story. First, AG, when you saw the story, because you, from the perspective of an Auditor General, when you saw something like this, what went wrong and how did that happen?
Well, actually, of course, when you see these things, you will get surprised that these things are continuing. It's just a repeat, a repeat of what happened during Jammeh's period. Yeah, senior officers connive with the executive to do things behind the back of people. If you look at, perhaps you look at transactions, they could even be off the books, so that inspectors or auditors would not be able to see them.
And that's exactly my question. How come the auditors did not flag this? How come they didn't see it? Because I'm not sure, but I haven't seen any audit report that says anything that this has been going on. People have been rumoring about it, but we haven't had any official document flagging this.
Yeah, it is probably that auditors also are not off the books. Not that their records don't exist. The records will be there, but the auditors will not see those records. Certainly, that is it.
Wow.
Because it is usually difficult to break up a collusion when there is collusion between several factors. When you do this, you put in checks and balances. But when those three issues combine, to deny you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get to see those things. That will be one of the causes. One of the fundamental is that how people don't learn from previous cases. To go against regulations, rules, to carry out some of these things. Can a government guarantee a loan for an individual, a private individual? Is that possible? Those are some of the questions that
we need to ask.
What does the Public Finance Act say about providing government guarantees for individuals?
Lamin, when you looked at this, I think people want us to speak in local languages because then we can marry local languages, and I think it's important. People keep bringing that up. But Republic la story, I mean, President Obarindingo, Amadou Sane, ko mega bank mi alonko bankola government la tamuno, janeka wafi, julol diala, min tata 4 after ngamira million kemelo. And then, in fact, company, julo di company min folola, it all not I wole julo it will inherit like once they were just 5 months old. Business registration was just 5 months. In normal banking transactions, neither a bank or a julo, a bank wants at least they want a year or 6 months records. Kela cash flow jube. But according to Republic La Fenco, nula cash flow and ning records cannot even guarantee that kind of facility for them. What detail la bota woto atata koteka evolved company nin change evolved julo nyinga atata 4 million kemelol. As we speak today, ila credit line julo bijel mi yanko close to 100 million mi yanko amanjo. And in fanang transactional minkita central bank ka kodo di la purita amano sang. Iko wala en mimintino wolong pour mano daitala. Pour ay kisawafi no $1,000. Wonin bitema mano damanji. Amanji. So kamta ko objective ma meet. Bari jamale wo profit wol soto. Wolumu fenneti miya lonko. Bari niya jube je fonga mimbe tandi wolong nepotism. Ke badi ngo makoy. Ani system wol ka dunyo kono ka itoli afanyame report nepotism, corruption and conflict of interest. Akamta wole findita nyungu kono. But ni ajube minuto the governor of central bank, the minister of trade, and the managing directors of the banks will be able to nyungu kono and will be the blessings they ko nyina. Kabri ni story je kono mune kitela reaction.
Well, banko kan governance no problem or TJ. Governance ya lon katuwa fola. Governance la mo court. Link will be no kono. Mama lo membe caring. Obviously had a ding left wala no kon. So that he left a menkele sakeno. Yeah, yemu wala tidaro. Come dulal TJ minni be nyo jibe kan. Okay. Sanye, if you look at the center of it, Jamale be at the center. So Nealo member at the center. Any wo be relate la no nyadi le nana take transaction. Ebe mi relate fangula survival la kwadi. Ete fango be kanela no nyadi. Palaso mento fo ebe tula no jele ba. Yeah. Fa bete ata bankola fa man bete ya bankola ebe ka wo mera. Ike mira minete fango be tarale la palaso to nyadi. Yeah. I don't have a ding on Muhadama ding. Dobby Safa Contata Kella. Well, maybe ta Kella, but Nibulata conditions con. Kufulalo. Yake or ye by Ela Dokua. so ibe jamale tal
ta kam to ko ni mo na president bari ni wona ta mo la tabla kay to ndi tablo ka jama ibe a choose le fonga approve bang fonga na approve asake ni sen na do ko lose no nyinto waran ni nga approve sen more favors to from the that's a very tough position for anybody to be in.
Very difficult. Biye da sama subola soma ibe ka sukuru photo samno so ni wo jibe maybe monetala.
But if one time you keep saying to me integrity and then leadership nyanta kera quality because I remember one time we finished discussion why bafo kanko bi pour que modol fongs to son kasi platform to ko dol discuss abuka aka kolea and we were talking about how leadership more kasi la ka because of near firm to offend the government or the small in power, it can lively also affect. And you said something very important. More it be conviction and integrity. What matter? And that should be the bedrock for anybody in public office.
Well, under normal circumstances, but it's a big decision. It's a challenge, obviously. If you want to do the right thing consistently, for a mira fananko na life destroying all. In what sense? Government motto be bully and I will follow type. International mobile be bully and I will fanan table. Because that's sama subola, so my man sukurpoto from samno. So obviously human beings are human beings. My belief is that governments must create environments that protect the dignity of human beings. Don't test people. Very few people will be able to pass those tests. Yes. What you need to do is create an environment that allows people to keep on to their dignity. Yes, without putting them under too much pressure. If you put people under too much pressure, they're going to collapse. Yes, it's just the nature of the human being. We are the same as Western countries, whether we're talking about America or Canada or the United Kingdom or Western Europe. Human beings are the same everywhere. They have systems to protect everybody. Yes.
Yeah, they have systems to protect everybody. Man, when you saw the report, what was your initial response?
Well, I feel like now our body is becoming our systems are becoming too used to these issues. Before you see these reports come out, you're like, how can this happen in this world?
Yeah.
But now it happens, you feel like, well, this must have happened. Maybe it just took Mustafa to investigate, but there are so many other corruption cases that are happening. So I feel like corruption has become too prevalent in our society, and to a level, we react to it, we reject it, but the ones that are into it also got used to it to an extent that they guarantee that there's not going to be any accountability.
Yeah.
So in an environment where there is lack of accountability, the ones that are into corruption, governments kind of create that enabling environment. Governments should provide anti-corruption firewall. Governments should, and so there is justice. Why are these two very important? Is because I mean, Counsel is here as a lawyer. He knows this more than I do. When you ensure that there is justice, you're not making sure justice prevails because of only one person, but also it put deterrent, right? Because if I know that if I commit this crime, I will face the same penalty or worse than what my predecessors have faced, I will not actually get my hands dirty. If there is a political will, when a single dollar is actually stolen and you are fired from your position or you are taken to mile 2, who would like to go and spend a life in mile 2, right? You will prefer to be in your home, do your job, and then be with your family. So we have not been doing well to make sure that people know their faith when they get into these corruption issues. And now it is a web. It has become normalized because of the environment in which we live in. Petty corruptions, those that are engaged in it face accountability.
Yeah.
But grand corruption, multi-million-dollar corruption cases, no accountability. So first, for us, we will say you need to follow the money trail, right? If you have an account less than 5 months and you're given a credit line of 400, there are only $400 million. There are only two things. One is influence. Number two is what we call beneficial ownership. There might be someone else who actually owns that business, but the person's name is not on paper.
Yeah.
You understand? So who is that person? Time will tell. I feel like the level of corruption that we have seen in this administration is incomparable to what has happened between 1996 or 1994 to 2017. It has become widespread. It's a spillover. It has not been centralized.
Are you saying the level of corruption in this government is way greater than what happened in Jammeh time?
Obviously. What was discovered by the Jammeh Commission? It was about $1 billion US dollars.
Yeah.
That was pilfered.
Yeah.
By Jammeh and his associates.
Yeah.
So that was a circle, right?
Yes.
Ours in this administration, it has been, like I said, a spillover. It is decentralized.
Yeah.
Right? Different facets of people are engaged into it. We have not got an idea, not even a single % of the level of corruption that has happened in this administration. It's just a matter of time for us to understand what has happened. And this was the reason why we also decided to go out and hear from the people, how they perceive corruption in this country.
Yeah.
And the report will be coming out next week.
Yes. Next week?
Yes.
That will be interesting. That will be interesting.
Across the country, most people have been interviewed. This time around, Council Darboe will not attack us on this.
I wish you interview me and other people.
And these are just ordinary people, public officials, those that are educated, those that are not educated, telling you how they perceive corruption in this country. I don't want to preempt it, but this was what we sensed, right? We realized that corruption is actually underreported, and this is the reason why we've been engaging Mustafa Darboe. We've in fact brought experts from Transparency International 2 weeks ago to conduct training with Mustafa Darboe to bring more investigative journalists.
Yeah.
Because I think Mustafa is overwhelmed.
Yeah, he is.
He can't actually cover all of the scandals that are happening in this country.
Can't, yeah. It takes a special person and special resources.
It is not the case that we don't have regulations, guarantees to protect these things.
Yeah.
They are there. They are simply overrated. That is what it is. People simply don't follow regulations. Mustafa fingered, he named an individual, but cited our report of COVID.
Yeah.
Failed to deliver the
rice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you are still giving demand more money.
More money.
So some of those things, instead of asking him to pay back those things, you are just giving him more.
And it's a repetition of what also happened in 2021, because in 2021 there was $700 million that was allocated as COVID-19 relief package.
Yes.
For the importation of rice, sugar. This amounts, the contracts we are giving to people who actually don't have any store.
Yeah, they have never.
They don't have a store. They're not into business, but because of the connection they were given. So I'm telling you, we have not even covered a percentage of the level of corruption in this country.
And I think one of the other issues that was also raised, and this had been raised before, how the central bank itself was just giving money to people to say because they want to stabilize the shortage of food in the country. And you look at the people they were giving these monies to. No proper vetting, no procedures were followed. People that they think they're good to do. And the objective of all of this have never been met. We still buy rice the same price. And just like you said, we have laws, but nobody follows this. And like Marr said, when I see the police post petty thieves on their Facebook page, you never see the Gambia police force post any major scandal that they are investigating on their page. But they will put innocent people, call them the mobile saja, Harla Saja, I Sajiro Sunya, they post these things on their page and put their pictures there. But then these big cases that audit reports, there are millions of taxpayer money that they have. And these Har and Bay, they are individual properties. But the taxpayer money that they have reports on that they're investigating, you never see it out there. And it's like the public officer who we pay, give them cars, give them all these things, we seal them. But the ordinary thief who steals just Fatou Touray's mobile, you put those people on the blast and put them on the Facebook page. You're not even giving them any time to prove their innocence, but you just put them out there because they cannot afford lawyers to be able to take you to court. But you know, when you put me there, I might just have access to Lamin J to represent me and sue you because why would you put me on the... So these are the level of how people are not treated right in this country. We are treated differently. And it seems like that's the case. When you have been at the National Audit Office, there have been a lot of audit reports that have come out. Do you think all these reports that you have produced have been properly dealt with in the past?
I've always said that. We still have cases as far back as 2013 that have not been completed with the police. Brikama is a case in point. Brikama treason is a case in point. Where millions have been taken. This was 2014 report. It went to police, it went to court, did not conclude. We have a number of those things here. Those things happen. They do happen. Because usually when these people take, they have money. You pay those people who did it, and then that is it. Fill the case. So it keeps on dragging, never ending. And that is most of the time. It is difficult. And until we begin to introduce consequences for people's actions, these things will continue. It will continue. My brother, the lawyers will say, if you want to go to equity, you must go with clean hands. So these people will go to those because they don't have clean hands.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Let me sit down.
And you know, African countries, usually, if they said power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. And usually when you are the boss, it's most like you have absolute power.
Yeah.
You do what you like.
Yeah.
Most of the time that is power. If people don't do what you want them to do, you simply move them. Like they want to be the regional. Maybe he's giving a direction, he did not obey. Okay, get him out. Somebody else who will do our dictates. Who will listen to our dictates and do what we want. This is just a speculation, but I'm just saying that accountability must be established or these things will continue to happen. Accountability means people, how do you call it? People are responsible for their actions. You make people responsible for their actions. If they take money, they bring it back. If they steal, they pay it back. If you don't begin to issue those things, people think that they can get free, go scot free by doing something. They will likely do it if it benefits them.
Yeah,
they're very likely to benefit them. Until you put sanctions on those things, they'll likely continue for some time.
Yeah, and so Marr says something that at this point we're used to all of these things and it doesn't surprise us anymore. As a society, is that how we roll? Because you know the Janneh Commission report came out and people manifested for days, and that we set up commission, bam, is there. The oil saga, the crude oil saga. National Assembly did an inquiry, and the spokesperson of government, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, said government will do something. They will look at it. And 2 days ago, the minister told us they are not sanctioning no minister. They are not sanctioning the Director General. So no accountability at all. But the central bank told us, they charge those banks 200,000 for violating. That's all we get. And this is what happens. Is that the normal thing to do?
Well, I think the National Assembly should try and see how far it can take its power, because the National Assembly has a mandate to censure ministers.
Yeah.
It's a constitutional provision. And if a minister is censured, then the president is under compulsion to dismiss the minister. Yes. So when ministers are saying, we're not doing anything, they're just talking nonsense. It's not their authority. That mandate lies with the president, and it's a constitutional provision. If you censor somebody and the president said he's not going to do anything about it, then you can take it further, you can escalate it. But ministers talking, it's neither here nor there. They have no mandate to get involved in a dispute like that. It's just between the National Assembly and the president. Yeah. You censor a minister, the minister goes. The president fires him whether he likes it or not. That's the law.
That's the law?
Yes.
So if the president refuses to do it, what happens then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It can lead to a constitutional crisis because then you can follow the president himself for, that is an impeachable offense. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but of course, it's a high-scale, battle. So the president has support within the National Assembly. So you don't know whether they will have the numbers or not.
But see, I tell people, it's not even about just not having the numbers. The fact that you try the process, you institute an article of impeachment and go through the process and let the people know how and what this person did wrong. You might not just have the numbers, but the fact that you start to institute the process, that itself is very important. It sends a very strong signal. And then here, what people will say, we don't have the numbers, we don't have. Yeah, we might not have the numbers, but there's nothing in trying and letting people know this is a very serious issue. And that is why we are instituting this process. That way, the presidency or whoever will know that you are not the absolute power.
But what Marr said, these things, misgovernance, to be polite about these things, misgovernance has become a part of our national life.
Yeah.
Yes. We witnessed those things. Parastatals been dismantled by their managing directors and nothing happened to them.
Yeah.
Yes. That happened a lot during the First Republic. Yes. So, it's part of our culture, obviously. It's very sad, but since there are no consequences, it's likely to continue. Yeah. Whole parastatals dismantled by their managing directors. Yes. Destroying the parastatals like GPMB, parastatals like the Gambia Cooperative Union, you name them, many.
And in the Second Republic, parastatals like Gamtel, Gamcel,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Today, Gamtel cannot compete with businesses that are supposed to be controlled by them, if not directly controlled, but at least they come to you for certain things.
Yeah.
They are even more powerful than you. I mean, how do you explain those things? No consequences, nothing.
So what do we do now? How do we handle this? For example, a case like this, it involves the president's nephew. Now, which auditor was going to go audit this? Because we are coming to the Auditor General being removed. I bet the new auditor will not want to try that because he doesn't want to lose his job. Or will the IGP institute a criminal proceeding to investigate this? Because this is a damning report. You would expect in any country, the IGP, the police prosecutors will turn to look into this and investigate it. But will the IGP do that? The IGP himself is the president's brother-in-law. Now, that is why in bigger democracies, these things are very much monitored. Because it's a conflict of interest. Sometimes, I mean, if it's my brother-in-law, I'm not going to investigate him. You know what I'm saying? Because, Mokala. So with something like this, what happens then? We're just going to read the report and go to bed and sleep?
No, it's a crisis. It's one of the biggest corruption allegations that we have read in the last 24 hours involving the family of the president.
Yeah.
There is no bigger corruption case that has been reported involving the family of the president than this one. So this is where you test the efficiency, the independence, the credibility of these democratic institutions that always brag about democracy, including the National Assembly, the police, the finance intelligence unit, to investigate these issues and then take action. Here is where we're going to know whether justice in our country is selective or is not selective, right? This is where we're going to see the loyalty of our institution. Are they a loyalty with the president or with the people of this country? This is the test. So we are not going to just flip the page and read another one. No, we wanted to see something happening, right? We've seen the president sending the Inspector General of Police or giving orders, for certain actions or orders to be executed, and they've been doing that without hesitation, right? So what will the IGP do, right? Will the IGP investigate this and make sure accountability is taken? Will the FIU do the same thing? Will the National Assembly take this seriously and then know that this is beyond the president? This is the corpus. This is the wealth of the country. If, to go by what has been reported, is the objective of this is for the importation of rice to reduce the economic burden or suffering of our people, to get rice at an affordable price. If that is the objective, and the loan was given under that objective, and you do your comparison, and you realize actually maybe even the time when the rice was when this loan was given, the amount of rice at the time, and when it has been imported, has it actually gone up or gone down? If it has gone up, then it becomes a huge criminal case that has to be investigated, and if there is those guilty, they have to be prosecuted. When you go to the High Court complex, you see a statue, right? And then the eyes of that lady, I don't know, in US they would call it Lady Liberty, right? I don't know what is the name for ours, but the statue, the eyes has been covered, meaning justice is blind, right? So will justice be blind in this case for our? I'm not talking about the court. I'm talking about those that are responsible for the investigation and prosecution. Yes. The court cannot investigate and prosecute, unlike other jurisdictions where you have a judge and a judge that will actually have his own investigation done at the court level. In our case, it is the ones that are given the powers, the police,
public prosecutor,
the
public prosecutor,
and
the
that
PPP,
is on the AG's office.
Yes, on the
right. And so we are not going to sit. Look, every single thing that is happening, we just been jotting. He can do talk president bade.
Can do it.
Can do talk bade. See fini. No. It's not possible.
It's not possible.
Perhaps they will set a commission to investigate, because now
these ones also
commissions have been established now. There's a commission. Maybe to look at it into this case.
In this case, but one thing,
it is serious. It is serious, and
it's a huge crisis, because you cannot sit here and then watch the local government commission that has been going on for 2 years. 2 years investigating minor corruption. I've not seen major corruption in that one, but we've seen multi-billion
have been lying there over the years.
Over the years, you have audit reports, 100. If you put one audit report from the Post Authority or so, you combine, right? That is way more than what is being investigated at the local government commission. At the local government commission, first year, 25 million was budgeted. Second year, 75, I think, 100 million was budgeted. This year, 50 million budgeted. That's 175 million that has been budgeted for this local government commission. Now, you steal our monies, and we, the taxpayers, still pay that much money to investigate that. And they keep extending these commissions, going on and on and on and on. The amount that they are spending on the commission is even way more. That this commission is more expensive than the Jana commission and this one combined, the expenses. And we still think that is okay. But you have audit reports that are over 300 million, one institution, and it's lying there under the desk. It's somewhere between the Ministry of Justice and the police, because some legal opinion needs to come, and it's not coming. This country is sad. And I think and that is why we're talking about accountability. Talking about accountability, we are dealing with another crisis. I don't know whether the lawyers will say it's another constitutional crisis. I don't know how you call it. Because the Auditor General Modou Ceesay has been moved. Now, we got an announcement from the Office of the President to say the Auditor General has been appointed Minister of Trade. When this announcement came later in the evening, we got reports. I think the first person to report was Open Gambia platform to say this guy has not accepted this position. And later on, I think the following day, the Auditor General, through his office, issued a statement that he has respectfully declined the offer. And this government spokesperson said this guy, the Auditor General, had accepted, met with the president and accepted. And it was when he went back to say he was going to send him his rejection letter, that was when he declined. But he had already accepted. That's why government issued. For me, my initial reaction was, how can you announce any appointment when this person has not fully accepted? But they said he has accepted. Now we have seen the forceful removal of the auditor on live camera by officers of the Gambia police force, removed from his office, escorted out, just for government to say, we don't need you here. What does the law say about the removing the Auditor General?
Well, the removal process is not that straightforward. These institutions, the Auditor General is one, the judiciary, and that is the judges, is a protected area as well. The National Assembly is a protected area. But when we come to the independent institutions like the Auditor General, these powers are taken from the president. In other words, nobody is saying a certain public officer or a certain category of public officer cannot be removed. All we are saying is that in a democratic system, there are constitutional provisions, there are legal provisions that protect them, insulated them from the president just pouncing on them and saying you are removed. Yes. Yeah. And the reason for that is because we want a strengthened democracy. Yes. We want checks. We want balances. So if you allow the executive arm of government, because most of the time the problems emanate from the executive arm of government, from the presidency. Yes. When it comes to restraining anybody, these protections are meant to insulate these independent offices from the behavior of the executive arm of government. Not necessarily our current executive arm of government. It's everywhere in the democratic world. Yes. The reason is we don't want an overmighty executive to try to go to the independent agencies and vandalize them, to threaten people to remove them from office. That's why it is difficult to remove them. Auditor General, you can remove them for misbehavior and also for ill health. Those are some of the reasons. If it is ill health, you set up a medical board. That medical board would confirm, and then you can remove the person. If it is for misbehavior and incompetence and corruption and things like that, you set up a tribunal. Yes, that tribunal would compose of a judge of the High Court, the ombudsman, and other independent personnel. Yes, they have to confirm that the allegations against Auditor General are true, that he's not just witch hunted by the system. So if they are true, then, and the tribunal found out or established that, well, the allegations are true, it is only then that the president can come in and remove the Auditor General. Otherwise, these are insulated positions. They are saying, don't get there. It is for the betterment of the country itself. And those are the reasons why you don't touch them. Because if you touch them and you are able to remove them on flimsy grounds, then obviously you are exposing them to the mighty power of the executive arm of government. And it is very powerful. very, very powerful. It can do a number of things detrimental to human beings. Yes. So that is the reason why the Auditor Generals are protected. Yeah. So what happened on Monday? Should it happen? No, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, the Constitution, section 158, I think, 4 said give the president can, upon termination of his or her appointment by the president. Termination was mentioned there, that the reference to the president can do termination. But 5 said the person holding the office of the Auditor General may only be removed from office only for inability to perform and function. So even though termination was referenced in section 4, which I've seen a lot of the people that are defending the president's action are referencing too, but 5 was very clear, and I think that's where the National Audit Act comes from. So how do is this not a matter of interpretation, or is the law very clear to say the president just cannot do it?
The underlying philosophy is what we are looking at here.
Okay.
Yes, so section 158, 4 and 5, they need to be read collectively.
Collectively,
yes. Because if you look at what happened in the case of the judges, there are issues there. For example, there are 2 provisions in the Constitution. Yes, a judge can be removed via impeachment, or, if the president wants for no reason. Obviously, the judges working in an independent, protected arm of the government. It doesn't mean nothing can happen to them. It simply means there must be heightened sensitivity to that branch of government. And before you are able to do anything, there must be irrefutable evidence that a particular judge has done something. And then you go through the route. Yes, a president shouldn't be able to remove a judge. I remember I was reading one book, there will be conflict. And this was an American president, Eisenhower. They asked him if he had any regrets, looking over his presidency. He said, yes, 2. They are both sitting on the U.S. Supreme Court. Yes, because once they are there, you're going to have a compelling reason to remove them. Yes. Yeah. Of course, they were in the same Republican Party. They had, he believed, they had the same worldview. But when you are on the U.S. Supreme Court, or any judge for that matter, then you are insulated from these excessive behaviors of the executive arm of government. You are protected. It is in the interest of the country itself to protect its judges, especially judges sitting in the Supreme Court. Nobody is saying you can't remove them, but there must be compelling reasons to go after them.
And there's a procedure.
Yes, there is a procedure there. But our 1997 Constitution created 2 routes. That was the reason why the former president, Yahya Jammeh, was able to remove people. But if he said you are removed and you said no, you know what will happen to you, and nobody can protect you. So if they said, okay, you are fired, the judge will just find the next exit into Casamance and leave the country. Yes, because otherwise you'll be in trouble. You'll be arrested, you'll be humiliated, and you will not come back to your position. Yes. So these are situations. It's in the interest of our democracy itself. And that is why they are insulated from this control by the executive. It's the executive that always misbehaves. Not here. That is a global phenomenon. And that is the reason why institutions are created, to ensure that presidents operate within their remit, their legal remit. So those who are saying the president has the mandate should read these 2 provisions together and go to the National Audit Act as well. There is very clearly spelled out the reasons why a particular Auditor General should be removed. Here, take the politics out of it.
Yeah.
I've seen people within the ruling government saying, this man is this and this and this.
Yeah.
We're not interested. Those are extraneous
Yeah.
circumstances, extraneous explanations.
Yeah.
We are not interested.
Yeah.
The only question is whether the president
Acted
has the
lawful.
ability
Yeah.
to remove an Auditor
Auditor
General.
General.
That's all.
Yeah.
Did they set up a tribunal?
No.
Yes. And how can you say, I want to promote you? Somebody says no. The law does not give you the power
Promotion
to
by
remove
force.
that person. Yeah. Even if the president had the authority to remove an Auditor General, and he does not, under the circumstances of Mr. Ceesay's case, he does not. But look at this. This is a senior government officer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the spectacle that happened on Monday.
Live on camera.
Yes. The whole world was looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very embarrassing.
Yeah. Our own government behaving like that. I mean, try to.
And the thing is, we reported that they were going to go to the National Audit Office the following morning. We reported on Sunday to say we got sources, that we got information that they're going to be there. Because Open Gambia reported and we reproduced that, and we said we were told they're going to. Even when they knew there were cameras, even when they knew the whole world was watching, they were watching. This was live on social media, on video. They didn't care. That is the level that scares me. It looks like this government doesn't care anymore what any of us thinks, because this is a very embarrassing situation. But anyway, we don't care. We are going to execute this. We are going to forcefully remove him, and we are going to do it anyway.
Yeah. In fact, those who are coming out to defend the conduct of the presidency, were you even there? You were not there. You were just told, because I believe the president, Mr. Ceesay, and maybe a few people were there. But some of the people who are coming out and saying all kinds of things were not there. Yes, we're not there. So we protect people.
Yeah.
Yes, we protect our people. We protect their offices. It is absolutely important. Yeah, don't look at your relationship with the president. Yeah.
And give us false information.
Yeah.
What does the law say about public officials giving false information to the public? There's a law
what
that...
the previous government used to do about
That's what Jame used to prosecute people with,
Yeah, coming back to that clause 4 that you are talking about.
Yeah, 4.
Even the constitution want people to look it in conjunction with all other provisions, because subject to
other provisions.
Subject to all other provisions,
Subject
yes.
to other
Yes, it says
provisions
subject to other provisions of this section.
Meaning that when you are considering that, it's not considered with all other provisions.
Subject to all other provisions.
Yes.
Exactly.
Ah.
It's not just simply terminating.
Yeah.
You have to consider all the other
And
parts.
5 says a person holding the office of the auditor may be removed from office only. Only. That was very specific.
Yes.
No, it's very clear.
Only.
The constitution is very clear about
Only on those 3 grounds.
On those 3 grounds.
Yes. Incompetence, infirmity, and misbehavior.
And in this case, you cannot accuse them of misbehavior because you are giving a raise, a promotion.
Not only that, but
he's so qualified that they are
He's so qualified that one of the ministers said that he's so qualified that they want to make him minister.
that's not promotion, that's demotion.
It's
Because the ministers subject to certain controls that the office of the National Audit Office is not.
It's
Because
very
the
powerful.
Constitution also protected the Auditor General from the control of anybody or authority. Ministers are actually controlled and
can hire and fire
so
them.
it's not a promotion. So we need to debunk this false information. They're actually demoting
They're demoting
the
him.
Auditor General, not promoting him.
The fact is, he has a prescribed period that he needs to be there. You can't change that.
9
Once
years.
you appoint him, once the president appoint, but once you appoint, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
He even reports to the National Assembly, not the executive.
Not the executive.
So
No,
that
but-
9 years, in that 9 years, it is only the Auditor General that can change that by, say, resign.
Yep.
He resigns,
Yeah.
for example. Yeah. Or he reaches the age of 60. Those are the only factors that can make him not to complete that 9 years, or he's dead or whatever.
Yeah.
But Without that, you cannot move him out of that office.
Without following the procedure.
No, there's no procedure. That 9 years, there's no procedure to take it out.
No, I mean,
except if he
misbehaves,
yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But you have been the Auditor General and you served on the JAME. And I mean, you served on the JAME, and I'm sure that was most of the most difficult times, you know. Lamin J, that just said it, JAME used to remove judges. And so. But somebody told me, I think the only time JAME removed an Auditor General was one Fatou something.
He did.
And it went through a tribunal. He did not just remove the Auditor General.
No, actually, he removed two.
Two, okay.
One of them went through the tribunal.
One of them, Fatou, yes, went through the tribunal.
Instead of tribunal.
Yeah.
For Boubacar, there was no tribunal.
There was no tribunal,
Yeah,
okay.
For Fatoumata, there was a tribunal.
There was a tribunal.
Yeah. I remember I was one of the witnesses. Yeah, for
the tribunal.
For the office, yeah.
For the office.
I represented the office of that tribunal.
Why is it important for the office of the Auditor General to be independent? Because I think it's important for people to know the role of the Auditor General. Because, you know, just like he said, when people came to me and said, oh, you know, you don't know this guy. I'm like, look, it's not for me, it's not the person. It is the office. It is the way it was handled. It is the way that he was removed. Because if the president can remove the Auditor General today, tomorrow, let's be assured that he can go and remove the Chief Justice, remove the NHRC chairman, and remove all of these institutions. The reason why we have changed our leadership in 2016 is because we don't want strong men anymore. We want strong institutions. And that is why we want the president to stay hands-free from these institutions. But why is it important to have an independent Auditor General?
Yeah, because it provides assurance to the general public that the monies that are collected on their behalf and spent on their behalf have been done properly. Essentially, that is it. So that people are comfortable that the taxes that they pay and the monies that are collected in their name are spent wisely. Essentially, that is it. Without that audit, a proper audit, of course, nobody can provide that guarantee to say that monies collected have been spent well. Essentially, that is, they provide that assurance to the general public through their representative, of course, at the National Assembly, that money collected on behalf of the people have been spent into what was dictated. So you want that somebody, it's like a judge, somebody providing that judgment on the account to be free from
interference.
Exactly, exactly. You want him to be, otherwise people will not be certain that in fact he is acting properly, that he's, I don't know how to call it, that his actions have not been influenced by somebody from outside.
Interesting. Marr, Gambia Participant issued a statement, the Bar Association issued a statement, and so many other organizations as well. What's your take on all of this?
So our position is what happened could have been avoided if the due processes are followed. Today, if you want to protest, the police will tell you there is a process that you need to follow. You need to apply for a permit. Before you can actually protest. If you don't get that permit, they will arrest you. The same law also, or the same laws also did mention if you are an Auditor General, how you could be removed. So we cannot, you know, open one eye for this law and close the other eye for the other law. The law is crystal clear how an Auditor General can be removed, and Council has already laid out those processes. The Auditor General has not been found guilty of incompetence, or he has not been found to be incompetent or guilty of misbehaving, or no medical report has been produced to confirm that he is mentally imbalanced to an extent that he's unable to discharge his responsibilities. None of those processes have been followed. What I saw on Monday is what I call an institutional coup d'etat, where the president forcefully removed an individual who is still plated in law, whose tenure is still plated in law, remove the person and then bring someone else, they want to be the Auditor General. It's just like the Office of the President. There are criteria that has to be met before a president can be removed from office. First is through elections, right? Every 5 years, you could be removed from office if you lost an election. The other thing is you could be impeached by the National Assembly, and in fact, in that impeachment, there are thresholds that has to be met before a president can be impeached, or else he resigns or die in office. Those are at personal level where he resigns, or there's a natural cause where he dies in office. Aside that, any other process that could be taken could be described as a coup d'etat, where you forcefully remove a president to be in office, because there are safeguards right in that position. The similar safeguards that's what also applies to the office of the Auditor General, and people need to understand this, right? That safeguard is important because not only did it say these are the 3 requirements, but further it mentioned that you cannot control this guy. You cannot tell this guy what to audit and who to audit, where to audit, when to produce your reports, where to produce it, and when to actually report it. No, it protects that office. It didn't mention any individual. It says the Auditor General. Right. There is a National Audit Office, but the intention of these legislators was clear, right? They wanted to make sure that this person, whoever this person is, right, will have to be independent in order to make sure they make independent decisions. Because if you are not independent, your audit opinions cannot be independent. Right? So this was the intention of the drafters. So that's, for me, it's just one word. It was a blatant institutional coup d'etat that happened, which could have been avoided, because the president and his government knows this more than I do. The Auditor General has not even resigned from his position. Even if he was offered another position to be a minister, right? Given that there are safeguards and procedures in our Constitution and the National Audit Act, he cannot just be redeployed. I feel he has to resign from his position so that position can be vacant. But the position is not vacant. He hasn't resigned. The due process has not been followed. So, like I said, there's no better word to call it than to call it an institutional coup d'etat.
Interesting. So the position has to be vacant before anybody can take over the new role.
No, legally, he's still the Auditor General.
Legally, he's still the Auditor General. So what happens to the person who's signing off on audit? On all this?
The president does not have that mandate. I know if you say these things, it offends some people. You know, this is not directed at anybody. The law is clear.
The law is clear.
People are saying the president appoints him. That appointment is a constitutional duty placed on the president. So you have to appoint somebody as Auditor General. But it doesn't mean that person can be removed by you anytime you wish. He's just fulfilling a function. That's all.
Is it the same case as the Yakumba case?
Yes.
The Supreme Court was clear on that. You can appoint, you can nominate her, but you cannot remove her.
No, because you are transcending constitutional boundaries there. There are demarcations. In the case of Yakumba J, the government jumped that demarcation. It has no authority. The president has no authority to do that. You know, I wrote about it, that the government has no such authority. But of course, they'll go and tell the president, you have the authority, you are the president, well, that's a false narrative. You have to understand. Look, here, we are not directing anything at the president here. We are simply saying the authority is not there. I remembered one case. Allah bless his soul, Baba Job. Baba Job, when he was being tried at the High Court, my party was then his lawyer. My party filed a motion, an application, to say that they don't have confidence that Baba would get a fair trial before Justice Poole. They wanted to change the judge. But of course, you know, you believe that anything can happen to other people.
Yeah.
Yes. So you only realize that you shouldn't give such blanket powers to one person. Only when it affects you. You know, so we protect each other along the way. The presidents are like governments; they come and go. Yeah, the Gambia is what we should protect.
We should protect.
Yeah,
You said something, and that is very interesting.
yeah.
He is still legally the Auditor General.
Yes, he is.
Now we have a new Auditor General that has assumed his position. The national, before coming here, they issued a statement. We wrote about it because we found out that he was in office 2 days ago. And we wrote about it, I think, yesterday, 2 days ago or so. Today, they issued a statement that the new Auditor General has assumed office, has taken his role, and he has started work. Now, what happens to anything, any undertakings he takes? Now, legally, he is not, by what you are saying, if he is not, he's signing off on documentation, government documentations, and assigned to a role that he legally does not hold as we speak.
Well, there is what I'll call a lacuna in the law.
In the law.
Yes, in the sense that under the State Proceedings Act, you cannot get an injunction against the government.
The government.
Yes. I believe that is a nonsensical part
It
of our
is.
laws. It needs to be removed.
Yeah.
In the UK,
Yeah.
when the Home Office is deporting somebody and you are lucky to make an application in time before a judge, one single judge, yeah, he can order that that person be returned to the UK. So you have to go to the airport and bring him back into the country.
Yeah.
We got the State Proceedings Act from the UK. They abandoned provisions like that, and we are still celebrating and holding on to that. Remember, Karamba Touray applied, her council applied for an injunction, but the government, the Supreme Court did not agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, because of the State Proceedings Act
yeah.
and what they call presumption of regularity of official acts. But, you know, somebody was serving in the position.
Yeah.
When it came to judgment time, the Supreme Court said he was just pretending. Effectively, he was not a member of the National Assembly. Karamba continued to be the National Assembly member. So, of course, the government has a lot of power. It has the police. It is exercising the police power of the state. You know, it can protect the pretender they send there as Auditor General, but he's not.
It's not.
Yeah, he's not.
It's not. And I think that's why we also need to look at our laws. Just 2 days ago, Trump fired the Fed chair. And the federal court, federal judge just, put a hold to that. He said, no, you cannot do that. So as we speak, she's still the Fed chair.
Exactly.
And those things,
she's a member of the federal board.
The board.
She's a member
of the board.
But a judge said no. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the same thing. Independent institutions have to be protected. The reason why we are not going anywhere is because of this knee-jerk reaction to disputes in the public space. Yeah, governments, especially presidents, must be restrained. Yeah, no disrespect to them. The country is supreme to transcend leaders, transcend in the sense that at some point they have to go. The country remains, but they go. Presidents go. Well,
Mansa is not God.
Exactly.
Mansa is not God. God's decision cannot be challenged. In fact, people do protest to the prophet, and he actually accommodated them. So, for me, one challenge that I'm actually forecasting here is now the fact that the position of this Auditor General is illegitimate. Any other audit report that he signed off, how legitimate will those audit reports be?
Yes.
Legally,
how legitimate? Yes.
Yeah.
Because you have not come through the right. I mean, the position is not vacant. If I was in his position, I would not have allowed that. Right. I would have waited until the due process have been followed as a manner, because Auditor Generals, I mean, look at AG Touray.
Yeah.
Um, with all the craziness of Jammeh and the threats that he normally received when he was in office, right? He was doing a good job. Modou Ceesay also doing the same job. So, if, and I said this, even if this Sow is a man of highest level of integrity, no matter the quality of work he produces, if the government wants to come to him, they will come to him and remove him the easiest way, just like they did to Modou Ceesay.
Yeah.
Because you allowed it.
Yeah.
But if I said no to this as a sensitive position that requires me to be independent, I cannot allow to be installed in this position. And then knowing your responsibilities in auditing, you will not have the legitimacy in signing off certain documents, right? So for me, I think that is one of the big concerns that I have, especially for him. What will it also mean for him as an individual and his career?
And that's the main question here also. If this holds, if this appointment, the procedure, for me, we don't have issues with Sow or whoever the president brings in. But if this procedure that the president took holds, we can forget about the independence of the Auditor General, because what it's going to give us that the president can remove anytime, any day, any hour, he can remove an Auditor General that he doesn't feel comfortable with. Then that defeats the entire purpose of the independence that we have been advocating for, that the office deserves. And what does that do to the office itself, the people in the office? Because at that point, will you be able to independently do your job?
That will be the difficulty. Because essentially it will go against all the provisions of our constitutional service that is not be controlled or directed. That's what is going to happen essentially. Then it means then when you do this, you'll be afraid that it could be removed by the by the executive.
Yeah.
So you listen to their dictates. They can direct you to do this and not to do this and not to. Effectively, the independence of the DC would have been non-existent. That is what it is.
But what would be the reason why the president would want to remove an Auditor General just like that? What would be the reason? Because at the end of the day, the term is guaranteed 9 years. Mm-hmm. And from what we have heard from Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, it looks like the guy has been doing a good job according to the government. So what would be, what else could have been the reason to the point of forcefully removing him? Because if somebody said respectfully, and that statement was very clear, he said, I respectfully decline the offer. Now, that person is telling you, I want to stay here. So if you believe he's been doing a good job, you would have left him there. But the fact that you removed him forcefully, didn't care what the world sees, they didn't care, BBC, Al Jazeera, everyone was reporting this, but they didn't care about that. Why do you think they wanted him out so badly?
We have to go back to the memory lane. Not long ago, we had the president saying an audit report is a mere opinion.
Ah, okay, yeah.
We also had his advisor saying the audit report that was conducted by the audit office, it was a special audit report for security report at the airport. Mm-hmm. The response, instead of actually taking that recommendation and acting upon it, the advisor said it was a half-baked audit report. But however, the same audit that they were downplaying, the Office of the President actually put out a memo at the time to investigate the malpractice and corruption at the security report. So I think we have an administration that do not take audit reports seriously. The recommendations are cherry-picked, right? Some are investigated. Most of them are actually minor corruption offenses that they will take to court. But the ones that are actually involving ministers, or let's say national level public officials, those ones are not actually taken into consideration. Look at the National Assembly report on the Russia oil scandal, implicating high level public officials.
Yeah.
They downplayed it, right? So how many more reports will they downplay? except if it is a report that has to do with their opposition or someone else that they see as a threat, someone else that is insignificant. So I say because the party holds a very small position in the public service, and audit report comes out, and they take that case to the
court,
and they will come out and they say we have prosecuted this case
and make that a sample case.
So for me, it's the lack of will in the Auditor General's report, right? For them, you know, the fact that you have an independent person doing an independent job, doing very well in discharging their legal mandate, that is a threat to their interests. Now, in governance or politics, you have a threat that is standing between you and your interests, you neutralize them. So that is what we are saying, because they knew they could not actually remove him. So to demote him, you have to make him a minister, right? And I mean, I'm very glad that he realized that and rejected that. And maybe council, you can help us. You understand these issues more than I do, right? In contract law, when you offer someone as an offer, don't they have the discretion to either accept or reject the offer?
But what about verbal acceptance though? Because Dr. Ceesay said he accepted he even hugged the president.
There are two sides. There are two sides.
He accepted and
there
even
are two sides.
hugged the president.
The Auditor General said he did not accept the offer verbally or in writing. Right? And the office of the president, for me, that is insignificant. For me, the most important thing here is there is no resignation and there is no acceptance, because he made it clear that I did not accept this. But even if he had accepted that, he has to resign for the position to be vacant. None of this has been checked.
Absolutely. Well, with all due respect to him.
Lamin, if we have a meeting here and I offer you a position and you said, yes, thank you very much, Mr. President, and even hug me, and then leave and then go sit there, talk to Marr, don't accept it, this is a demotion. You come back tomorrow and tell the president, I respectfully decline.
In writing, that's the difference.
Fatou, do you think we should run our public affairs like that? Verbal. You know, government is not only the government of the Gambia. Governments are always looking for reasons to say things about people that are not true. This is simple. Can you produce a document signed by Mr. Ceesay accepting his appointment as Minister of Trade? Can you produce that?
You know what somebody told me? Let me interject here. Somebody said to me, if the president swore to an affidavit that this guy accepted his offer, there's no court of law, there's no judge in the high court who will reject that the president is lying. They will not accept that if he swore to an affidavit that this guy accepted, even though he did not accept in writing, he did not reject in writing, but he accepted verbally, and then the president can swear to an affidavit, the courts will accept that. That is acceptable in court.
Yeah, but do we want our president to do that? Do you think the president will do that? There is a possibility a judge will say, no, it's hearsay. We are not accepting this. The judge is not saying the president is lying.
But he's
simply saying, no, we don't have any confidence in these assertions. Yeah. So those are just talking points.
Yeah.
And again, the action is done even before that happens. Yeah. You have appointed him without first engaging him. It was like he said, he needs to resign first so he can be appointed to the position.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
He's already a sitting Auditor General.
Yeah.
You say, I appoint you as minister. That cannot be done.
He needs to resign first.
The basis itself is wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. Do they have a resignation letter?
No.
Do they have an acceptance letter? What do they have? The government megaphone. You go and say, Fatou is this, Fatou is that. I've seen, partisans saying all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But those are really immaterial.
Yeah.
The key question is whether the president has the mandate to remove and Auditor General. That's the only question here. Yes. Yeah. He accepted it. He hugged the president. He said yes. Went to Marr and Marr changed his mind. You know, they're not important. We don't run the country like that. Gambians don't like procedure.
Yeah.
Most of us are partisan. You don't look at your own interest. You look at just these transient leaderships and you enslave yourself to them. You know, this is a wrong process.
So
Let them bring the documentation. Yeah. How do you offer a minister a position like that? Do you write to them? Maybe you don't. You just tell the minister, you know. So where is the evidence? There is nothing. Nothing. We're not going to listen to what Dr. Ceesay has to say. He can say it. He's a minister of information. But of course, what do you expect? You expect him to contradict the president? But we are not fools. You have the megaphone. You can allege that somebody did this and this and this. But when we stand for the truth, we are not protecting the Auditor General. We are protecting the integrity of our public processes.
yeah.
Yes.
And I will feel like the press statement was premature because unlike redeployment of ministers, where they will not need to, you know, resign or what have you, they accept and you redeploy them. But for the case of the Auditor General, if you already understand the process and these are the safeguards, if the person accepts, if I was the president and I appoint counsel and he accepts to be the minister, I will tell him, well, because of the law says that you have to resign.
Yeah.
So once I get your resignation letter, then I can announce
That yes.
that I have appointed, of course, the announcement of resignation.
Yeah.
Modou Ceesay has resigned as Auditor General. You know, that has been checked
Yeah.
because the position has to be vacant. So that is checked. We leave it to that. And then I appoint Modou Ceesay as the Minister of Trade. Due process is followed.
Yeah.
But the statement was premature. Whoever was doing it was doing it out of rust. It also has made a lot of people to believe that this is a plot. Because government have legal advisors and they know these issues.
Yeah.
So many people, I'm not saying that's what I'm thinking, but I've seen some people writing to say that this is a plot, right? They appoint him as a minister and then they can come out if he reject and say, oh, he accepted it before and he disrespected the president as a result, he's going to be removed and then we're going to put someone else there. I don't know how they're going to play around those words, but council, we all students, you let us know. There are those that will say, well, if someone else, is it the promissory estoppel, right? Does it apply to this?
Well, not really. I think the explanations that you gave are enough. There has to be a resignation, and then there has to be an appointment. Yeah. So, I mean, he didn't promise them anything. He didn't say he was going to resign. So it's a contested terrain. I'll go with what the Auditor General says. Yeah.
And as we speak, we don't have a trade minister because the Auditor General is supposed to be the trade minister. So what becomes of that position right now is because he's appointed as minister anyway. Even though he said no, he's appointed anyway. So what is going to happen? The president is going to fire him again because they made sure they institute this one for the Auditor General to go to work. Now, if this guy say, no, I don't want, what is going to happen? For them to be able to appoint a new minister, what are they going to do?
No, the appointment of the Auditor General for this is null and void. It is illegal.
It's illegal.
It's null and void. A sitting Auditor General cannot be appointed as a minister. That is the fact. It's null and void.
This is an assault, really, on our institutions. Yeah.
But you raise a very important question here.
Well,
so you have
as
a minister.
As far as they are concerned, Auditor General is there. As far as they are concerned, he's been appointed minister. Now, what happens? Are they going to sack him just to rectify so that they can appoint another person? Because he's not going there, as far as we know. What happens now?
Maybe for their reports, they should, but like I said,
The Dr. Ceesay should rectify
it has
this.
no legal foundation.
Okay.
No legal basis. His appointment as minister has no legal foundation.
Hmm.
That's why I say it is null and void. So maybe for their own processes, they will need to rescind that appointment. And they are going to.
Which is also going to be a shame for a government, right?
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, right?
Yeah, but what is left? If you can forcefully go into the original service and remove it,
Yeah.
the ODC would be a minor thing.
That is a shame, a stain on the image of the Gambia itself.
It's Gambia, it is a big stain, yeah. I saw statements from, high-profile individuals, it's very embarrassing. Yeah. But what happens to the National Audit Office now? Because there's this thing there, obviously when the Auditor General was doing press conference, we saw some staff members there, others were not there, but now it has become this thing. Polarized there. If you know what is happening inside there, it's really polarized. It's divided. We know that. It's divided. Some people are accepting the fact that this new Auditor General has come. They are accepting it. Others people are saying, no, it's illegal. I'm not taking orders. I saw a suspension letter for one Mr. York, associate auditor who has been suspended because he had put in their management group that he's not taking orders from the new Auditor General. And he's been suspended indefinitely. So we don't need that kind of situation. We don't need a polarized National Audit Office.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think there'll be better advice for them to continue their work. Like we said, we are looking at the institution. Whatever happens, they must continue
doing their job.
Absolutely. The office should continue functioning. Take the police out of this is beyond them. The staff, this is beyond them.
Yeah.
And let the executive and also deal with it in their own way. It will not be proper for them to, because that will be against their own conditions of service. To make protests within the office. That would not be right. I think they'll be very advised to
do their job.
Work, because it's not only the regional transform. They have their senior staff and they all have their session. I think they should be listening to their staff and continue the work. Work must continue. I think that will be the best advice to them. Give to them. They should not be part of this, how they call it. Well, they can be part of the conversation, but they should not be part of the conflict.
Conflict is happening.
The conversation, I think
rightfully they can be, but they.
Yeah, because of course, like the legitimacy of the current Auditor General is highly questioned.
It's highly questioned.
Yeah. Without this one leaving, this cannot be established. So, but that's not something that they should go into.
They should
because
continue doing that.
Affect them too. They begin to say, to organize, particularly to protest.
That's not the right thing to do.
That's not the right thing.
But the question a lot of us ask is this: is it possible for the Auditor General single-handedly to control things at the National Audit Office? Because the reason why people are worried about all of this is government want controls. They want controls. That's the only explanation. What is the other explanation? Or it's either you're hiding something or you want to control whoever sits in that office. That way they will go by your dictate. Because if not, I don't see any reason why anybody will go this far when it comes to removing somebody. Is it possible for the Auditor General to change serious audit reports like that has been done by the field workers?
No. That's the simple answer.
No.
You see, the Auditor General doesn't go to the field.
Okay.
What he provides is leadership. That's what he does. The nation.
But who determines who you audit? For example, somebody wants to come and audit Touray. Who gives those directions?
No, the answer what the National Audit Office audit is already in the books.
Okay.
It has said all government institutions.
Yeah.
All.
Yeah.
All. I used to say everything under the sun. Because it says even where government has minority interest, even if you have Dalasi,
Yeah.
yeah, you should work on government to go and get it. And we have, before I left, we have taken a to say even where you don't have, government has nothing, but the public, the people have something
there.
We should go and audit.
Audit there.
Essentially, that is it. So it's everything.
It's everything.
And like I said, you even in preparing our programs, everybody gets involved. For example, we have units responsible for certain areas. For example, say you are responsible for say government departments, and so you sit and prepare programs together with all your staff. Whilst we cannot go to every year because of the number, but at least within 3 years, we are expected to go to one of those departments. And the audits are, what we do is you pick up from where you stop the last time. So that's not it.
There's nothing.
That's
but is there?
You can do. You can
but
do
is there a situation where an Auditor General can sit on reports? The field workers do their report, and the Auditor General can deliberately decide not to release. Is there any scenario like that?
No, you can delay. For example,
you can delay
the report, but you can't stop it.
You can stop it
from coming on. And with the import of that too, the implications too for you, for the revenue officers, are very bad. If you are not working, then the people will simply just sit up all day and not do anything. And he cannot. There's very little that he can do. In fact, perhaps the man in the field, what the man in the field can do, the real can't do. Suppressing information or whatever, because if he did not give you the information, you do that. But once he's right his information, that is it. Sealed. Verified, confirmed, it is sealed. Auditor can do very little to change that one. Yeah. And if you want to doctor it, the respect that you lose alone, you would want that.
You won't
would not want that. In the eyes of your colleagues. No, you don't want that.
I don't want that. Are you confident with all of these things happening, we will still be able to get credible and impartial reports coming from that office?
Any stability. Look, you have staff there who have been there for more than a decade. Seasoned auditors. Yeah. If they are left to do their work, we continue to have from that good reports. But the good works is only a means to an end. If the executive did not act on them, the good report is nothing. It is as good as what the executive decide to. But we have seasoned staff there. I think government need to resolve this matter as quickly as possible. So that the office is stabilized and
they continue their job. And thinking about stability, obviously when the Auditor General was removed, the GALA, our new life saviors, they went to the National Audit Office to hold a press conference. They were not protesting. They called the media for a press conference, and before they could even assemble, the police came. And it was people were arrested, and some were detained. And yesterday you represented them. When you look at, you are a human rights advocate, a lawyer, and all this. And I tell people, I don't know how you do this all these days. You are in court every single hour with all of these cases happening. What do you make of that? Is it wrong to hold a press conference at the National Audit Office in front of it?
No, not at all. Not at all. This idea of permits and things like that, it's just a way to ensure that people do not have the opportunity to express themselves. While this thing was happening, Donald Trump left the White House to go and have a meal just outside the White House. There are restaurants there. He was being booed.
Yes.
Did they take a permit from from the DC police?
No.
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 This immaturity is killing our country. It's killing our democracy. Yes, really, it is, and it is immature. The protesters, have you recovered any weapons from anybody?
No.
They didn't go there with anything that could be used as a weapon. What are you afraid of? Let them shout. You know, let them do whatever they want to do, as long as life and property is not threatened.
Yeah.
Eventually, everything dies down. They're retired, so they'll go back home. All that. Just and so property is protected. Yeah. You know, conversation, even of the, you know, unpleasant type, is part of the lifeblood of democracy. Yeah. We must not see people who are protesting against government conduct as enemies.
Yeah.
Today, some of the biggest friends of the president were not there when we were fighting for him to come to power.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
So how can any advisor of the president look at me and said, you are the president's enemy? I've been at the forefront for more than 20 years. Yeah. You know. So, but they know they are living a fantasy, really. Yeah.
Interesting. And that's how everybody is labeled. If you make any statement or even criticize the work the president is doing or the government, they tell you, President that saddens me. You know, all of us that sit here, the reason why we sit here to make this, say these things to the president is for we want a better Gambia.
Absolutely.
And that is why people fought for us to have change. But it looks like today when you go out to protest is a way of expressing yourself, to tell government, I'm not happy with this. This is my position. And, you know, records have showed anytime people go out and the police, you know, give them permit or even come out and support them, nothing happens. It is only gets violent when they said, don't go out. If I'm the IGP, anytime you call for police, I'm going to let you go. Yeah. Because when you go out with police protection, nothing happens. That only shows that government protectors are very, very disciplined. But you see what happened. You saw what happened with GALA. And the boys were again detained. And I tell President Barrow, ihakilo to a population that is very, mialga hanita kasola. You gotta be careful of those people. At this day and age, these boys are not scared to go to mile 2. Because even and that is what they're doing to our young people. They're making them to be very open and don't care about going to detention. Because we've been there before, so what? It's the same situation. You don't want that kind of population.
Most of the time, insecurity in our countries are the primary cause of insecurity is always malgovernance, right? You look at the Sahel region, right? It was just corruption, silencing people.
Yeah.
All of the one ko push buses si maralem.
Yeah.
They fipu. So I think people are at that stage where they just they don't care about the action that the police is going to take. Even mile 2, you took these young people to mile 2. They spend some days in there, and they know how crazy and how unhealthy that place is.
Yeah.
But they're still coming out.
Yeah.
Right. So the worst mistake a government can do is to silence its population.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the worst mistake a government can do. But if you allow people, we are all human beings. If you are angry and you allow the person, obviously, to put out that anger, obviously with responsibilities as well as a citizen. If you flush out that anger responsibly, then we move on.
Yeah.
Look at what is happening also in Jabang, right? Tires been burned, right? Today.
Yeah.
Today, tires been burned in Jabang. People are tired. Because you wanted to go out, police is going to come after you. So this is what they're going to resort to. Because naturally, Domi Adamo, so they mer. That mer. And especially someone else whom you have violated their rights.
Yeah.
They're angry. Right? They wanted you to hear them. Right? And most of these people are those that voted for you in office.
Yeah.
They want you to hear their frustration, and you said, no, it's not going to happen. And they sit here, see all of this corruption happening, and you just fold your hands.
Yeah.
They're actually going to revolt.
Yeah.
This is what is causing insurrection in most part of this world. We saw NSAS in Nigeria. We saw what happened, the Galamsey in Ghana. We saw what happened in Senegal.
Yeah.
And that actually brought down the Macky Sall government.
Yes.
And this is actually what is going to bring down the Barrow's administration. They have started in the wrong footing. They, I said it yesterday, gis nga Karamba bu weex su ko fóotee si petit
Wow.
nga lenkali ko si petit dum yaga day ñuul.
Dina ñuul de.
And that's exactly what is happening.
What is happening?
Fu mu nekk nii it's too late.
It's too late.
And I think you know and the fact that it's happening before elections, you will see how the popularity of the current government is actually going down from having 53% of the voter support in 2021 to going down to 31%. Who knows before 2020? With all these things that's happening, right? With the push that we did here towards 2026, so many things happening. It actually might bring down the popularity of the government, and that's the trend that they are taking. They are not taking the trend that is actually going to amend the mess that they have done, but it's actually escalating it.
Yeah. Exactly when Macky Sall was jailing the young people in Senegal, when people spoke, they were like, you know, Ken Fale. But they kept doing that. They thought they had power. They kept doing it, and people were saying, you know, it will not affect them in the elections. But we saw what happened in the election. The young people came out and voted mercilessly against them. And if anybody thinks that all these reports coming from the National Audit Office and will not affect, go ask Macky Sall's brother-in-law is in jail right now because of a report that was done during Macky Sall time. Macky Sall sat on it. But today, that same report got him in jail. Today, his own brother is also being investigated because of a report that was issued during his time and he sat on it. Most probably, he's going to be. His son is being investigated with some other people right now. And these reports, these sensitive reports, that's the FIU, like the FIU, report was done during Macky Sall's time. And they sat on them. They never thought this day will come, somebody is looking at them. So that's why leaders need to understand. And President Barrow told us, I always remember this, he said, Nte karantale, Gambia dingol karantale, ya jame karantale. This is what he told us when he came. He said the Gambians have taught Jaya Jame a lesson, he has learned that lesson, and Jame has learned, the Gambian people have learned. But we are not saying that.
Yeah, just about these reports, I remember when the coup d'etat in 1994.
Yeah.
You know, Yaya Jame and his group, the first office they visit after State House was audit.
Wow.
I think they gave them some information. When they came, the Auditor General has traveled at the time, wasn't there? The deputies were not there. The most senior officer was one Mr. Davis, but he sat. So I was the one who actually did it. They were asking for specific files at the audit office. Yeah. We went and then we gave me a list. I extracted them from the files for them. That's what they used to prosecute some of those people. So these things will always happen. The reports are there.
Yeah.
And nowadays, there are websites. Not only there are websites.
There are
people
physical
are
documents.
their own.
It is. The record is gone. You cannot just destroy these reports.
Exactly. So this is at one time or the other, they'll come out again.
They'll come out.
People will look at them and say, okay, let's deal with these reports now.
Wow.
You have a number of reports that have. They simply just don't.
They simply, wow. They're sending me pictures of what is happening in Germany. It looks like it's getting serious right now. Pictures of burning tires and everything. And at this point, we need to be careful.
It's gonna get worse, Fab. It's gonna get worse. I think that's the stage where people are. You look at the cost of living, the frustrations, and the poor infrastructure. You go to the hospitals, you're not having better treatment. Your relatives are dying from this is that preventable.
But how more gonna meet? Suñu waxee ne jox nañ président jarbaatam 500 million. And then suñu lopitaan amu sa paracetamol ak basic garab. That is what really angers people.
Most of money is gonna get worse because you look at all of this. Tey nga toog amulo dem man ba ma read the report from this guy Republic. Ma toog 2 p.m. like amut. Okay. Okay. 400 million bobu soko jelon nga dugo ko sun board bi fini. You will have actually solved this persistent problem that we've been going through for a very long time. So people are not stupid. You do all of this analysis, you think about these issues, then nga tok nga ne hana ñi ñoñu gën. xanaa ñii seen famille ñoo ñu gën te ñi nga xamante ne from nowhere yaa leen jël nga sànni leen karta ñu toog si biir nguur and sufferation is not decreasing, it's increasing. So if you don't have at least even if sufferation is increasing, corruption is reducing, people will understand at least this is something that we have to deal with.
But is this the reason why everybody wants to go into politics? Maybe we should go. Because, I need to bring the question, final question. Is this the reason why we're going to politics now? Because according to the report, the turnover of the business that this guy was managing was about a little over $1 million, right? Today, he's managing a business, it's 7 years down the line. He's managing a business worth over 1 billion, let's say. He's giving a credit facility close to almost 500 million. And the only reason why he has access to that is because his uncle is the president of the republic. That is the fact. Now, I want an uncle that is president so I can also have those access. And that's what everybody else wants. It looks like the politics is now the
easiest way to be a
millionaire. Maybe we should all hang the boots and just go into this. Lamin J, honestly, at this point, I'm considering, running for office. Start with the National Assembly first. Go to the Combo North. At this point, I mean, we must all go to politics. It looks like that's where the money is.
Yeah, I think that's why the crime rates are going up. Yeah, insecurity is going up.
Yeah.
Now these people, these small boys, I don't think they don't how do you call it? They don't nothing is small for them.
Yep.
They can not only your mobile, even if you leave your cooking pots outside, they pick it up and go and sell it.
Yeah.
The last time my dustbin, I think the boys forgot to put it inside.
Yep.
In the morning, it was in there. It was here. So
that is the level of separation, because at least that dustbin, if they sell it, they will have $500.
One dustbin, I remember. The only thing they cited throughout, dustbin you mag $1,000. Bobu la jël moy ñu pan ñu def ndox ni soy def consumption bobu la sani. So when you sachet jigéen ni gis ko gaay ñu ne sen ban bi yobu nañ ko ci next year. Can you imagine? And I was telling people, this is what this person was stealing. That's how bad it has become. Ni mas tebe mindi de dimbaya jube. What are you going to do?
And how do you reduce that crime rate as a state? That should be your concern, because you know what, as a state, you are going to not only find it difficult to address insecurity, but then you as a government and your infrastructural development that you've invested billions of dollars into could actually be compromised because of that insecurity. People, and we've seen it in countries, they burn stores, burn buildings, burn government properties, burn private properties, all because they just wanted to be hard and you suppress them.
Yeah.
So you will come back and reinvest billions of dollars that could have been used to stabilize the economy, create jobs. And, it's the protest, but we cannot forget about these issues. All of these sufferings, young people, including women and pregnant women, going to this back way, there are two ways. They know it's life or death. They will either survive or they will die. They have those two options, and they choose to go this way.
Yeah.
The desperation is too high that, look, I rather die than to continue suffering in this. I wouldn't advise that. It's a bad decision. It is a very bad decision. But the state has a huge responsibility, and I don't feel like they've been stepping up to that responsibility.
You have not answered my question. Is this the right thing to do, to go to politics, to work and just make money and have a rich uncle? I want my uncle Jibril to become president. I'm sure.
We don't want to be like Nigeria.
Well,
yeah.
For me, obviously, politics is a stabilizing project.
Yeah.
Better Gambia. If you really know what you are doing, you can make journalism, a lot of journalism, redundant. These demonstrations and things like that, they'll be redundant.
Yeah.
Allow people to express themselves.
Yeah.
Meeting people on the streets and promoting violence, because obviously that's what the police are doing. Why are you hitting people? You've got the equipment to arrest them, if that's what you want. arrest them and process them. Don't hit people. You have no right to do that. If you are not in uniform, some of the people you've hit can kill you with their hands.
That's true.
Yeah. So the police need to discipline their staff and stop them from hitting people. Yeah. Unless your life is threatened. Otherwise, it's not necessary.
And the new thing is the police they don't discriminate against who. My reporters were telling me, the police were telling journalists, like they are not distinguishing from anybody. They're going against after everybody.
Yeah.
My Lamin Fatou was pushed with Charles, and the Gambia talent cameraman was arrested. Even though they saw a camera with him, they were pushing him with that camera.
One of the protesters from GALA told me that guy during the period protest came in and told him, "You are finished. We'll send you to Malta," and that's exactly what happened.
Yes, that's what they told him. And it's sad. Finally, it's interesting conversation, and we've been here for almost 2 hours. Karamba, what is your message to those officers at the National Audit Office? What should they do at these trying times, this confusing time? What is your message to them?
I think essentially, for now, like I said before, I think they should focus on their work and try to work with management now to stabilize the office, because it is about the office. How do you call it? It's a reputable office, and that need to be maintained. They should focus on their work. At that level, of course, I can say they cannot have conversation, and they could continue that conversation, but the fight is not theirs. Let them uphold the terms and conditions of the service and continue to work the management that is available for now until the matter is resolved. Of course, we will urge the government to resolve the matter as quickly as possible. What they have done is not legal. They should try and follow the right procedures. Maybe they can maybe negotiate with Modou to get him to resign. If that is what they don't want him there. Negotiate with him to get him to resign, so that he can be appointed as minister. That place, or take him to another institution that he would like to have.
But that's the legal way to do.
No, I'm not saying, because the
at least
now is a tribunal for Modou to resign. To officially say, okay, I've resigned from my job.
And I don't think
somebody is appointed.
What tribunal will do anything?
The tribunal is that they have to force some accusations have to be made. You can take the tribunal.
Somebody you already said on record that he's doing well. How can you go to a tribunal and tell them he's doing that? One is not even a non-starter.
Those are the things there. They have, like I said, they have a very limited
options.
To maneuver. Maneuver now. How they are going to do. They need to have reinstate mode. Accept their errors and say reinstate.
Or maybe Modou go to the ministry. Straight. Well, the lawyer is
that one. Even if Modou go there, it will still be illegal.
He needs to resign first.
Exactly.
He needs to resign first to be able to do that.
But how can he work in the cabinet? How can he be?
At this point, he cannot work in cabinet. At this point, there's no way he can work in cabinet. At this point, no. At this point,
that would be very interesting.
That would be very interesting. I don't know how he's going to be.
I will not even advise him to do that, because it will also be a very bad precedent that will be set. Right. And you are going to give this any executive, not only this government, any government that comes in will actually work on this precedent. We don't want you, we can force you out, then we negotiate and then give you another position. That will give the executive what they want. So I think for the sake of the position and the integrity of the institution and for the sake of rule of law, he should maintain his position.
And go to court.
Yes.
And the lawyer is here. Have you filed? When are you filing? Are you going to court? Have you changed? Because we heard they've been negotiating. Are they negotiating, or are you guys filing?
I'm not aware of the negotiations.
Okay.
My instructions are to file. It's a little complex. If we are unable to file tomorrow, inshallah, Monday. And then they can negotiate at any time.
But for you guys, file though.
Well, the decision is with the plaintiff, the potential plaintiff, Mr. Ceesay.
But at this point, the instruction is to file?
Yeah.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you so much. This is a developing story which will be followed. We will be at the Supreme Court because I know that is the final place to be. And hopefully the Supreme Court will just do what they did in the Yakumba case, just to show the executive that they don't have absolute power. The law of the land must always, prevail. And I think that is something that every Gambian should advocate for. For us here, it is about the institution, not the individual. Let's protect our institutions against anybody and any encroachment, any personal interest. Because at the end of the day, that is why we voted for President Barrow in 2016. We wanted independent institutions. And to safeguard that, we must all come out and advocate for the reinstatement of the AG. If they, yeah.
And again, I say this will be it's a kind of a litmus test. Once this is completed, it will bring closer to interference on all these
institutions. Yes. Yeah. And that's why I'm happy that I saw all the Bar Association. I've not heard are coming out to support and say this is wrong. Yeah.
All the political parties.
All the political parties except NPP.
and its affiliates.
Not only NPP. What's that other?
GAP.
The name is
Gambia Action Party? No.
No, I forgot this gentleman's name. He used to be, he said that, the auditor cannot belong to the office. I read it. What is his name again? Bachili.
Bachili. Gap said that?
Yeah, Bachili. Wow. I saw that of Gap. He did not understand. When I read, I know this man does not understand.
My grandson doesn't understand the law. He doesn't understand.
He does not understand the issue.
Yeah, he
does not understand the issue.
He doesn't understand the law.
He was saying that, the president had the right to, that the man cannot belong to the office. The man is not clinging to any office.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he wants to be president.
Yeah, and he wants to be president.
If you don't know that the president has no authority.
Exactly. What happens if we make somebody like that the president? He's going to do exactly that. That is why when people speak, we are going to look at what you're saying. Because if somebody who wants to be president is telling us the president can do something like this, what will he do if he becomes president?
And you promise us to give you the country so you can fix it in 90 days.
90 days.
90 days.
How can you achieve that?
Gambia is interesting. Well, hopefully, the president's legal advisors, the other day I asked, where is the Attorney General? Because, you're supposed to be the chief legal advisor to the president. You cannot let the president make mistakes like this. And that's why it's difficult for them to go by, because they have made great mistakes. And sometimes they get right. These things are wrong. This is not right. But sometimes they do things and they don't want to go back. And
no, simply because they have power. That's all.
Simply abuse of power.
They think they can do this.
Hopefully the Supreme Court will establish who is the absolute power, which is the Constitution of the Gambia.
And that will bring also interference in
our institutions.
Institutions. Definitely.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And somebody was telling me, Fatou Touray, if the president's nephew is the most educated and most qualified, what is wrong in giving him that money? I'm telling you, there's something that is called conflict of interest.
Most educated and qualified.
There's something that is called, that is something that is called conflict of interest. That is why the president cannot give those kind of contracts to his immediate family. It is called conflict of interest. That is why, even though his nephew might be the rich, the most intelligent, and the most smart, but he's the nephew of the president, so he should not benefit from those things.
And in the corruption school of thought, we call that nepotism as well.
That is nepotism and favorism and corruption. That's it. That's my answer. Until we come back next week, good night to you all, and thank you very much, gentlemen. Good night to you all. See you again.
Thank you.
We are happy to announce the launch of our new logo. We have evolved since our incorporation in 1997, and it is time to refresh our new look to reflect who we are today. Before I reveal our new look, however, walk with me while I take you through our journey of the last 25 years. Trust Bank was incorporated on July 3rd, 1997 and began operations on October 1st, 1997. Following the collapse of the parent company of its predecessor, Meridian, the CBG stepped in and recapitalized the bank and held the shares in trust. thus the name Trust Bank. In 1999, the first investors who responded to the IPO and paid $1.50 per share received their maiden dividend of 50 bututs per share. In 2000, the bank fully paid back its investment by declaring another dividend of $1. The vision to create the kind of company that delivers quality services and innovative products with an inspired team dedicated to serving our customers, our environment, and our communities at large in the most caring manner. We remain fully committed to delivering excellent services to each of our stakeholders, customers, employees, shareholders, and partners. So, we remain true to who we have always been.